All right. So if you have questions, you can email me, you can text me. If you guys want to use the photo works better for me because usually students have the same question. So if you use the photo, I'll encourage the photo, or I'll look at it and I'll respond to the photo. If it's empty, I'm not going to bother. But just let's see what happens with the photo. If you want to put your questions in there, if you want to email me, that's great. You can text me. In the years that I've been giving students my phone number to text me, there's not been an issue. I'm not supposed to let you text me. We're supposed to communicate virtually, but use the text for just trying to get my attention because I won't look at my emails immediately. And if you have an urgent matter or you have an urgent question, because we are going to have exams online, just text me. I won't necessarily see my email right away. Okay, so that's how you'll use my phone number. Or if you're going to meet with me, if you want to meet with me in my office, or we're meeting virtually and maybe I forgot, you can text me. Okay, so you have my phone number and I'll show you that as well. So the syllabus, we'll talk about all of that. I have all the resources here that we're going to talk about. And do I have them up here too? I guess I should only put them in one place. I don't want you to miss them. This is just a repeat. I'll figure that out. I think I'll put the syllabus up here as well. Yeah, there it is. All right. So there's my phone number. This is an online course. It used to be 100% online, but it was noted that the students needed a little more structure. So we moved to having a few meetings, and I've settled on having all of them. I will meet with you every week unless something happens. I will meet with you every week. You only have to attend 5, but I'd say about, a third of the class will come to all of the meetings, and they find it benefits them because there is a lot of material and it helps you focus to know what's the most important. So we are going to talk about statistics. We're going to talk about that a little bit today, what that means. And there are a lot of topics in statistics. This is an introductory course, so we're going to hinge on we're gonna focus on the area of parametric statistics. I don't spend time too much on non-parametric, but I'll talk about what that is. But you'll get the idea as we go on. So this is what we're going to work on. And it is we're going to work on like the conventional statistics for business and statistics, right? The traditional or conventional approach to using statistics. So we're going to meet 9 to 11:30 in Zoom. I have gone past that time. If I go past that time, you can leave, you can leave the Zoom. I'll just continue and leave the recording for you to finish, watching if you missed a few minutes or 20 minutes. Sometimes there's topics I want to finish or answer fully all the questions that have been asked. But if you need to go, just go ahead. And again, you don't have to come to every class. So today's our first day and we will finish on the 9th. Even though for the trimester calendar, the last day is on the 2nd. I'm adding that day because we missed the first day. There are 2 tests for this class. For 70% of your grade. So we will meet on the Saturday of the test. We will meet from 9 to 11:30. You don't have to come if it's not one of the days that you're obliged to be there. And then at 1 o'clock, I will have the exam will be posted on the platform, and you will have 3 days to finish the exam. Okay, we'll talk more about those details, but you'll have 3 days, 72 hours. I decided on that structure so that students can adjust their schedules. Sometimes people work on the weekends and they can't work on an exam Tuesday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday. So maybe they'll use take Monday off of work, or At least you can adjust your schedule if I give you 3 days. You don't need 3 days to do the exam. You need 2 hours maximum. You can spend 3 days if you want. If you haven't finished studying and you still need to review the materials, you can do that. You can use all the materials available on the platform. I don't recommend you go into the search engine on the internet and waste time. All my materials provide you with what you need, okay? You'll see that. If you're at the point where you want to go into the, onto the internet to look for additional materials, let me know and I'll meet with you and help clarify and help you focus or find you a tutor if that's what you need. So 70% are the tests, then it's participation. So you just have to come at least 5 times to get all those points. And then we're going to have assignments in McGraw-Hill's digital service. They offer a textbook and a platform to provide feedback to you. They have questions and they grade, it grades automatically. Okay, so you have the textbook, you can read the textbook, or you can just go with my notes and try the assignment. It will grade automatically and you can repeat it a few times. Okay, so you're going to be able to repeat the assignment until you get your best score, so you can collect all the 10% for your final grade. I do not have the details of how to purchase that service yet. It's going to be $50 and you will get the textbook virtually, so the ebook, and you'll have the Connect service. And I will post a series of questions that you can complete each week. Also with Connect, like in the meetings of our class, only 5 of the assignments are required for you to earn that full 10%. Okay, so you only have to success the best 5 grades. You can do them all, but I'll take your best 5 scores. Okay, the tests, these Connect assignments are very elementary. They're not hard. They're not going to be as difficult as some of the material I provide on the platform, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, any questions about the evaluation scheme?
Yes, I have a question. You talk about the exams that we have 3 days, but when you access the exam, we must finish at once, or we have the
No.
3 days. Okay.
You can just get out and go back.
Okay.
Yeah. And there will be a multiple choice. So it will be hardly multiple choice. I think the first one will be all multiple choice. The second one will be multiple choice. For the one part, I actually should stress this right now because there was an issue last semester. There were 3 parts to the exam, and I mentioned it many times, and I have many sample exams. There are 3 sections, A, B, and C. Section A is multiple choice. Section B is problem solving, where you show me, I grade your presentation, the presentation of your solution, and you have the power of choosing which problems you want to solve. I give 7 and you pick 5. Okay. And the third part is one problem that I choose from the notes, from a part of the notes, a part of one of the units, and you solve just that one problem. You have to complete all sections. There was some confusion about whether you had optional which section to, no, you have to do all the sections. Read the instructions, always read the instructions, and you'll be fine. Okay. And you can also text me for an emergency like that. You're not sure which sections you have to complete. I can clarify that immediately. So I mentioned here about Connect that I'm going to put them out every 2 weeks. I'll put them out and you have like 2 weeks to complete them. That's what I mean. Okay. So there'll be assignments there and you'll have 2 weeks from the day to complete them. Sometimes I add more time if you need it. All right, so what do you need for this class? Okay, we're going to review the platform, which includes instructional videos. You need to meet with me in class. So you're going to need a camera. You're going to need the ability of a camera. You're going to, okay, so we're going to talk about all the problems, exercises I have for you to solve. And in terms of using programs for this class, the only one I'm going to teach you how to use a statistical mode and a calculator. And I'm going to show you Excel. Again, optional, and you don't have to purchase, well, you'll see, you might have to purchase the calculator. But everyone has Excel, I assume. So some students might like to print all of the notes. You might want to print the notes up and work with written notes. Some students just like to read. Whatever you do, in the end, your exam has to be handwritten. Okay. I don't want any, like, even if you solve with the computer, I need to see your results handwritten. You'll understand better when we get to get through some of the material. So because it has to be handwritten, get into the habit of writing. So you can use a tablet. Some students use a tablet to download the notes and mark the notes, solve the problems in the tablet, and they store those files. That's fine. Some students will print and then work on paper. What I'm going to ask you to do, even though some of the questions are multiple choice, most of them are quantitative. This is a highly quantitative course. We obviously use theory to know how to solve problems, but it's quantitative. And so you're going to be solving math problems as your evidence for your final answer. I'm going to require you to submit all your evidence of how you solved a problem. That helps you to defend your choice. So for instance, if there's a confusion in the interpretation of a problem, that's legitimate. Either in the language it's not clear or my grammar isn't clear. You have the evidence to show this is what I understood and this is what I got. And I'll reward you. Either I'll give you all the points or half of the points, right? So I need to see your evidence. So when I ask you to submit your exam, you're going to submit your answers and you're going to submit your written work. Okay, so get ready for that. And it needs to be clear for me. That's why I'm giving you time so you can make it nice and tidy for me. If you use something like Excel to solve a problem, you have to submit that. You'd have to submit this Excel worksheet in Excel format so I can see the formulas that you used. That's your evidence, okay? Not just the answer. I need to know your thinking. Some students by chance will get the right answer, but using the wrong method. I can't give you credit for that. I can't give you, so students don't like that. They say, well, I'm lucky. No. I'm supposed to evaluate your knowledge, not just your luck of getting the right answer. Maybe in life it won't matter, but this class, I need to develop evaluation methods that test your understanding. All right, so I wrote this in Spanish. Okay, so let's see. I'll come back to this platform. Sorry, this schedule. I want to look at the platform now. Okay, so I'm going to show you there's lots of material on the platform. And then we'll come back to the schedule. Make a note of the dates and confirm that those weekends you can create time. You don't have a vacation on one of those weekends or something, okay? Make sure you're around for that. This will be, I think this is a long weekend because the 11, anyway, for us, the 11 is a holiday for government. It's Veterans Day. So you might have a holiday plan on that day. So make sure you're available. Even if you take a holiday, you'll have a few hours to complete the test, right? The other advantage, if I've said it already, to giving you 3 days is if you have not completely studied the material, I'm giving you time to study, to continue, to complete your review of the materials. All right, let's see. Let's go to the platform now. These are just so let me review this and then I'll go to the platform. Okay, so the textbook is, I'm saying required for Connect, right? Is this textbook, Bowerman? And Bowerman is the textbook that I'm referencing here in bold, Bowerman. But then I have this other one in brackets. This is the textbook I used until a few years ago. And I have folded that as well. That textbook is easy to come by and you can buy it. You can buy it in Spanish too. I'm pretty sure the sections are the same in Spanish. I checked it a long time ago, but the Spanish version is a little older, but I think it's still divided the same way. So if you want a reference textbook, you could probably get a cheap copy of this one if you want a physical book. The Bowerman one, like I said, is going to be available digital for $50. The principal reference for you, though, are my lecture notes, and that's what I'm going to talk about next. So let's go to my lecture notes.
Professor, do we have to look for that book, or are you going to send us a link or something?
Yes. Sorry. Yes. So we don't have the Connect details yet. I'm waiting for that feedback from the McGraw-Hill representative. She's very busy, and I do try and notify her early. She was away though, and then there was the storm anyway. So don't worry for that. I will accommodate you if you know how late we get it. But yeah, I'll email you when I have the details, and I'll post the details on the platform as well. How to get in, how to get through. All right, so here are, see, I have my photo. I'm asking you if you want to ask questions, ask them there. So everybody sees the questions, right? I think in all the years I've been teaching, I've been at, hey?
I see like
Yo no
every
presente.
now.
Okay. Let me share again. I turned off the share. So in all the years that I've been teaching, I've been at the Rio Piedras campus for 15 years, and maybe 1 year there was a student who was very good at managing the photo, and he was asking questions and he was answering questions, and it was very good. It was nice. But other than that, students don't tend to use it. But let's see. The dynamic changes from class to class. That's my experience. If you guys like it, we can work with that. All right, so these are the notes. So I've divided them. I have the English version. I have the Spanish version. You can let me know how you find my translation. I hired a translator for them. He was a pretty smart guy, so I think he was able to adapt, the statistical terminology to it. And then this other one here, it's only in English, but it's the same notes. But what I do in this, what I do here is I pose questions in my notes, you see, and then I answer the questions in the annotated. So I have here on my platform, I have questions and I have answers. And I think I started saying it, but I didn't completely say this before. Do not study with the answers. Okay, that's my number one warning to you. Do not study with the answers. It will give you a false sense of understanding that you really don't have. Develop the answers, work with the materials, and then review your answers with the solutions. Okay, so these, the Spanish and the English version are both, the pages should align because the video instruction that I have For my notes, it refers to pages. So I've done my best over the years to keep everything on the same page. So my videos are still relevant. I'm going to explain to you, there's 3 different sets of videos on this platform, okay? The first set that I'm going to ask you to watch today on your own, these are 15-minute videos. These are professionally created videos that are from the 90s. They're old, but I've never found anything equivalent to the quality and the information. So these are very good videos, and I use them. I integrated these into my notes. So when you watch these videos, you're ready to review my lecture notes and answer the questions that I have in there. Most of the questions you can answer. Some of them you cannot. And those questions that you cannot answer will be in the discussion next class. I'll have a discussion about it. Also, you can go ahead and you can watch in these conferences. So these are the videos that were recorded last year that review the topic. Okay, so these will cover the notes. And I think I did, you see there's quite a few hours here. Now, I put the hours down just so you can prepare yourself. This will take you to YouTube. All right. So I'm going to talk about YouTube and how you maneuver in YouTube efficiently as well. But the point I want to make is you can gauge how much time you have and the requirement for this class. I think you need like eight hours a week for this class. Depends on your aptitude. If you've done this before, you're just going to review, that's fine. But to get through a good comprehension of the notes, you need 8, maybe 10 hours if you're going to, rewind a lot to prepare for the meetings. When we meet, I will ask you about your comprehension. If I see people are really confused, I'll start from the beginning. If I see half the students are understanding, I'll just solve some problems or I'll do highlights. Okay, so you need to give me that feedback. And you can only give me that feedback if you reviewed. So try and spend, see if 8 hours or 6 hours, 5 hours, try and work it out where there's a few days in the week where you're going to dedicate to statistics. It might be Friday night, but it's better if you start, with the weekend, you start your week, you set up that you're going to study on Wednesday and then on Friday, and then you come to class on Saturday prepared to make the most of the meetings. Okay. The meetings are really for review and highlights and extra problems. All right. So you see there, I have one set of videos. These are the professional ones. The second set of videos are in class, conferencias, okay? Those are in class. And then the third set of videos, I don't have them here in this module, but in the next module, you will see. Sorry, it jumps like that. Okay, you see these? And now this is menacing as there's so many, but this is page by page by page description, and they're very short. These are the short, these are 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So you can review the topic in the conference, and sometimes in the conference I'll say, go watch, this video on page such and such. All right, but so this material is actually 2 weeks of material. I can't remember if you add this up how many minutes it is, but you're going to watch these first, and then the ones you didn't understand or I didn't cover, you're going to watch them here. These are a backup, and these are here for you for the whole course. Like you can study them for Saturday's meeting, but then when you have the midterm or the first test, you can go through them again. Okay, those are there. These are from 10 years ago. I made these, and they took forever to make because 10 years ago we didn't have the applications we have. We didn't have the power that we have now. They took me forever. So I'm not going to delete them. They're repeated like in these conferences. I repeat elements of them, but these are like your backup to these videos. Okay. And I think these are longer. This is 5 hours of videos. These are like, just a few minutes. Some of them a little bit longer. All right, so these videos, these are the required ones. And these are, I'm not going to say optional. They're required too. You need this understanding. This is page by page, right? But I'm not going to say you have to watch every one. You might understand this topic, so you're just going to go to the ones that you don't know. All right, so 3 sets of videos. The Decisions Through Data series, which are the professional videos that I pointed out here. These ones. The required videos, that's number 2. And then the page by page review that I don't have here because this one wasn't as long. I didn't need to do it. And in module 1, I don't like the way it looks, but let me go back to module 1. In module 1, what I've done is I put all the resources here. I'll explain what these things are. So this link will take you to all of the series Decisions Through Data. You can watch the whole series. Okay, and I've put in the outline for the course, I've put where I suggest which videos I suggest you watch when. The required videos are only the 4 that I want you to watch today or this weekend. The link got broken, but okay, so this brings you to the playlist, all these videos. So you have the whole series here. Okay, so it's a review of statistics in a dramatized way. It's very nice. And I got permission. I asked for permission from the producers to put it on for educational purposes. So these were at the time, these were very expensive. Each video cassette for an hour cost $1,000. That was the educational price. But I mean, I guess they're out of copyright even right now because it's 25 years ago. So I ask you to watch 15, 16, 17, and 18 for today, because we're going to talk about generating data. And those are the 4. The other ones you can watch on your own as a review. They're very good videos. They're excellent videos. That's why I use them. And I've never found anything that's good. So what I've done here in the syllabus is I tell you here with bold, I tell you, you must watch 15 to 18. But these ones you don't have to watch 1 to 6. It's just a recommendation. You can watch those if you want. And here 7 and 8. Okay, so I've told you which ones you can watch. And they will bring to life some of these topics. There's no videos for probability. And then this one and this one. It just brings some imagery and I think videos and dramatizations and storytelling, a great way to learn. Right? Okay, so the 3 sets of videos again. The classroom videos, previous semesters that I've recorded. The Decisions Through Data series, the professional series, and then the page by page instruction for the notes. That's not it. I lost my page. Oh, I got to go back. That's why. I must have closed it. I see right now. Okay, Sorry. All right. So those are the 3 sets of videos we have. I don't feel like if you didn't understand what I just said, just let me know. Okay, so resources. You have the lecture notes, the answers to the lecture notes. Then you have practice problems. You have 3 sets of practice problems aside from the questions in the notes. You have these were exercises that I used to give, but the structure of the trimester system is too short for me to be able, and with all the other demands I have no time to grade these. So I can't do that. That's why I went to Connect. But I decided to share with you these exercises that I've given past classes. They're in Spanish. Some people don't like that. Actually, last year, student asked me for the English version. I said, no, I went through the trouble to put it in Spanish. It's only in Spanish. So if you need the English version, you're going to have to let me know. So this one is just in Spanish. And then you get the answers for it. So those are good practice. So you want to have enough time to get through the videos and start doing the practice exercises. Some students will begin with the practice and then go into the lecture notes. Whatever works for you, I'm happy, but make sure you give yourself enough time to find out what works for you. The other type of practice are these homework exercises, which are problems that are in English. I never translated these ones to Spanish, so you have a little bit of a mix. So these ones are more like, these are actually old exam problems. That's what they are. So they give you an idea of what the exam is going to be like. So the tarea de práctica is more in depth. These are not that they're not in depth, but these are the structure of the exam problems, multiple choice portion of the exam problems, right? And then the answers are at the bottom. If you want more than just the answers, you want the solution, like how it was solved, that is available. So this is the one that students forget. That's why I repeat it. It's right here at the very top of the course. These are all the homework solutions that I had typed up. So it shows you how you get your answer. All right. So that one you can make a note because you're probably going to forget that. But that's right here. It's called all homework. So again, we have práctica, homework with the annotated solutions. What did I do here? I don't know. I don't know why I have that, but I guess I did that once and I left it. But you know the solutions because the solutions are at the bottom of the homework, A, B, C, or D, or E. Yeah. There. You can bring any of these problems to the class on a Saturday and ask me, I didn't understand that. Can we do that? Or you can write me an email and ask me, or you can put it in the photo. How did you get that? Or you can text me, Professor, this is driving me crazy. Homework from the first module. You can say module 2, homework, question 6. What am I doing wrong? Okay, and I can guide you. The final evaluation for yourself, so this is all for you to do yourself. This is for you to self-study, are the automated quizzes. Now, the automated quizzes are the most difficult. They're not that hard, but they're harder, okay? They're harder than the test that I'll give you, just let you know. So they just expand, push you a little bit. I don't require you to complete the quizzes. I used to, but I decided to go with the Connect instead. just because I can change those and these ones always stay the same. So the quizzes, if you've worked with Moodle before, this is like the quiz. You can answer the question and it will grade it right away. And you can try it again. I'm just showing you the process. It warns you many times. So it'll tell you if you got it right, but if you got it wrong, it doesn't tell you the answer. So you get to try again. Okay. So telling you that this is a little more difficult is just so that you get challenged here, but not to feel bad if you can't figure it out or if it's really hard. All right. You can let me know if you don't know why an answer was what it was. Or you can keep trying. I think it's unlimited. So if you record how many you got wrong, you'll find the right one. It's not impossible. It's not. Don't get that idea. I'm just trying to tell you, if the day before the exam, you're doing these and you're getting them all wrong, don't feel like you're going to fail because these are more challenging than the test problems. Okay. All right. So, and also by doing these quizzes, you have an idea what the exam's going to look like. The exam was going to be like this multiple choice setting. You're not going to get the answer right away, but I will, once everybody is done, a day after, I post the grades, so you'll see your score. This is a very good way for me to see also where students are having difficulty. Oh, let's get out of here. So it gives me feedback to where the students are having challenges. I usually know because I've been teaching this for a long time, so it's usually the same. But it helps me identify also, because of the automated system, I can see if maybe I made an error or I should reword a problem to make it clearer to understand if students consistently get the wrong answer. Okay, so I think that is it. It's a lot of stuff, as I said. The notes, you're going to download the notes. You're going to start reviewing the videos here. Maybe you won't completely review them. You don't have time. Just go into the exercises before the class. Okay, so try at least the homework. I think maybe you should do the homework first, then the practica, and then the modular. You don't have to do these before we meet. These are something to review deeper. The quizzes are to go deeper into the topic. I hope that's not too small. You can see what I'm doing. Okay, questions from you. You can mark if you've completed things. You can keep track.
Professor, I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused in terms of, do we look at everything before the class, or is there something specific that you would like us
No,
to?
I want you to do the notes and the videos. The practice, I'm just saying, if you run out of time, just try the homework first. That's my recommendation.
So the notes, the videos, and then the homework?
Yeah, that's like, yeah, the bonus, the extra, yeah.
Okay.
The notes and the videos, for sure, but try the homework so you have an idea if you understood. You need some feedback.
And then for every module, there's going to be notes and videos?
Yes.
Okay.
Every module will be the same. The only one that's different is module 2, where I don't have page by page by page. I don't go by every page, but every module has, you'll see if you click through, has all the pages, every page. I think let's see, module 4, you see, I'm sorry, I'm going so fast. So you see here, this is a long video. So it's repetitive. The requirement are get my notes and watch the video meeting. These are all resources for you to understand better, to comprehend better what was discussed. You see, so we have tarea de práctica, solutions, homework. Why don't I have homework solutions? Okay, so yeah, so here you just have the homework because the solutions are at the bottom. And then you can download from the top of the page, you can download the solutions, like the long answer for the solutions. So it's the same setup. Module 5. So I don't have too many here. Module 5 is very short. Module 5 is very short. And let me confirm module 5 is on the exam or not. I think, where did I put it? It's here. Yes. Okay. So the day of this exam, the 5th of October, I will probably discuss module 5. You might feel like you should have completed all of these and just had enough time to start module 5, or I will finish module 5 in class. And then I'll post the test and you'll have 3 days to finish. So you have to have a strong background in 2, 3, and 4. And 5, I'm going to clarify, but it's very short. It's not very long. All right. So that's why I put the date. I put the date here as a 9/28 that you should have it finished, but I will still talk about probably regression on the day of the test. Okay, so that's how that's going to work. We'll see how it goes. So it's 10 o'clock.
I wanted to ask real quick, will we do like reviews before the test?
Yeah, that's the idea. That's the idea of the meeting as well. But we'll see. It all depends. I'm trying to be as flexible as possible. For me, my perspective is you come prepared, everything is just review. So when we're meeting, we're reviewing. But that's my dream, but that doesn't always happen because students they didn't have time, or but that is my goal. Okay, my goal is that you come to class with 65, 70% comprehension, and then I review and I highlight with you real time, and that helps clarify material. So it's all really, when we meet, it's more review rather than me teaching you. But it has happened where I just fall back and I end up teaching everything. So I don't want to do that. So hopefully you guys keep up, and it works like that. It's a very tight schedule. So next week you should finish this unit that I'm going to introduce today. Or this, I have names for my modules. The only one that's not distinct is 6 and 7. I call them both probability. Anyway, you'll see. But most of them have names. So module 2 is design of experiments and surveys. And then we do graphing and descriptive statistics. These are the English versions. So yeah, so you're gonna have 2 weeks for the next module, then 1 week for normal distribution. People who've learned statistics before learned about the normal distribution, so it's a review for them. So maybe 40% of you, it's just a review. Some of you are learning it for the first time. So I know there's a difference, and I know the people who don't have the science statistics background are going to have to work harder. That's a given. But I'm not making you work harder than you shouldn't be working more than, like I said, 8 hours a week on this. If you are working more, 8 to 10 hours, make sure you see me so I can clarify, that you're doing too much, or you're looking in the wrong direction, or don't go on Google, don't Google it. You're going to get lost somewhere. Watch my stuff first. Everything is geared towards my material. I use the same language in my material. Again, if there's a language issue with the Spanish and English, let me know. The exams will be in both languages. Yeah. The final in the end, I think I just left it in English. And I told students, if you have any questions, just let me know and I'll send you, a Spanish translation, or I'll meet with you to go, because we can meet in Zoom very easily to go over any confusion, clarify any questions. Okay, so I want to leave things flexible, but we still have a structure here, and we're going to try our best to abide by these dates that are outlined. Okay, any more questions for me?
I have a question. So the final grade is 10% of the online assignments, right? But the homework that we were seeing that you presented had the solution in it. So how are we gonna be measured in our online assignments?
These are in Connect, and these ones, that's it. That's your online assignments. The everything here has solutions for you to self-study.
Okay, so only by watching them or redoing it, we have the total 10%?
Yeah. You're talking about Connect, right? So the total 10% is from doing the problems and repeating them. And it will show you in Connect.
So, I'm sorry, Connect is another platform?
Exactly. It's another platform. Yeah. No, good question. Yeah. So Connect is something else. So yes, I want to be clear. What's here on the platform is not Connect. Connect is another platform, and you have to buy the textbook, and the details are not here yet. I'm waiting to get the details of how you buy. So you have to buy a code and then go into McGraw-Hill Connect, enter the code, and then you have access to the textbook, the Bowerman textbook, and Connect exercises that I'll prepare. And let me show you what it looks like.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, thanks for the question. Always do this.
Professor, real quick, can you clarify how exactly is our attendance recorded?
I'm going to record the meetings, right? That'll be my evidence and your defense too about your participation. But okay, 1 point will be for having your camera on, and 4 points will be for your participation. So I'll ask questions during the class, and students will answer in the chat, or they'll answer out loud, and then I'll know you're participating. And that's basically it. You just have to be actively participating and ready and engaged. If you're quiet and you have your camera off, you get 0. That's, but if your camera's off and you're responding in the chat, sometimes you're talking on the camera, you'll get your 4 points. If you have any disputes about, hey, that's not fair, just let me know and we can review it. Okay? I'm usually fair. Really, it's not to penalize you. It's actually a reward for you, because the biggest problem with distance I found is distraction. You're in your computer, you're getting a notification on your phone, you're getting a notification on your iPad, someone's calling you. And when you're home in your own space, it's easy to get distracted. And I'm trying to grab your attention, reward you for your attention. And then it multiplies, right? Because you're learning better also with attention. I don't know. I'm trying to recreate the classroom the best I can. And it seems to be working. All right, so you can see this? Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
we
so
can.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is
Yes, we can.
So this is the book here, but
Yes.
I still don't have your course created, but this is from last semester. And I can put it in a student view. So this is what you're going to see. And the assignments will appear here. And you go into them. Okay, they're all completed, so they're just for study, but they're blocked. What do I use this? Okay, so so after a certain point, they close. So I'll have deadlines on them and they will close, but I'll leave them open for study so you can go and practice with them. So They're like that.
Excuse me, Professor, I think you probably mentioned it before, but just in case, when might this be available for us to start working with it?
Oh, it should have been today, but I haven't heard from the representative. She has to give me access. She sets this up. And so yeah, maybe 2 weeks. But you have more than enough. This really is not a primarily for learning. This is just to give you points. This is for me to give you points. It's not going to be hard. If you go through all my materials, you'll succeed in these problems. And if there's something very confusing because the terminology is different in Connect than my notes, just let me know and I'll make the bridge of understanding. But yeah, you should just be studying from my materials right now until we hear from the rep. Unfortunately,
Professor, I have a question. Do you say that these assignments will have a due date? It is expected that we finish the assignments after we take the class or before, or how it will work?
yeah, usually what I do is I put the assignment up like on the weekend, and then you have to the next weekend. So it'll be after we meet.
Okay.
So that way we're going to review the material and then you can complete the assignment confidently. So then, like I said, you only have to do 5. I'll have maybe 10 up. So you can, again, adjust your schedule.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So 30% of this course final grade is just effort. That's it. Showing up to class, answering. I don't even care if you get the wrong answer. I mean, I shouldn't be saying that so blatantly. I want your effort. That's what I'm giving you 30% just for effort so that, if you don't perform exceptionally on the tests, you will be okay and you'll do fine. You need 80%, right? You need for the program, a C as a pass. Is that correct?
No, I believe we have to keep a 3.0 average.
Right. So you need, you should aim to get 80% in this class, a B in this class. And you probably will, as long as you keep up. If you can't keep up, let me know. Just let me know because it goes very quickly. The time goes very quickly. If you have other obligations, think about whether you can really pull this off. But you'll get the idea in the next couple of weeks. Make sure if you don't complete this class, you have to delay the whole year for your program. So you got to be ready for this now. So you guys, I'm going to have to say, you got to make the time to get through this. It is an introductory course. It means that this is not so sophisticated. All right. I might talk about things in a way that's professional. Oh, sorry. Elizabeth has a question. Just one second. I might talk about things in a professional or more sophisticated manner, but I don't expect you to be experts or to be, I don't expect you to be able to communicate at the level I communicate in this topic. This is really an introductory course that even a first-year student can take. Okay. But if you're a first-year student taking this course won't do as well as you because you're more mature and you have more experience, you're better students than a first-year student. I'm talking about bachelor student. So I expect you to, the 80% is very much doable. The grades are very good in this class. And the flexibility with the exam schedule is good. Just make sure those weekends you block off and you're not on a cruise or something because that won't work. You might not even have internet. You don't want that to happen. All right, so this Beth.
All right, so I want to verify if I'm right. So looking at the syllabus here, so basically we have to study the Model 2 for August 31st, and then after that we get the Connect quiz if it's available.
If it's
that's how it's gonna
available,
work?
yeah, I'll put it, I'll put it up, yeah. Yeah, so Saturday I'll put it up, and then, well, usually, okay, so if I had it, I would put it up now. And then I would make it due on like September 1st or September 2nd or something like that. Okay, that's how it would go. I don't have it right now, so we won't be doing that. But next week, I will put up on Saturday, I'll put up the quiz for this material. Module 3 will be up. Then you'll have 2 weeks to complete it. And then I'll give it to Sunday or Monday for you to find. So this is a Saturday, right? So it'll be like the 16th. So the modules will be, the connect will go up when we should have, right? Like they'll be up the week before or the 2 weeks before the module is due. So you guys, this is the final schedule. If you guys want to take off a week or two of work and just work on your own through the course, you can do that too. It's all there. You don't have to go by this. This is just the deadline. Right? So you can do more. I know it takes a lot of motivation, but having peace and calm at the end of the semester or trimester is motivation enough. How many of you have more than 2 classes? Everyone has 2 classes right now? Okay. Were any of you in my class before? Like, you had me in the bachelor or no? So you're all new students? Okay, because I don't recognize any of you, so that's interesting. Okay, I just knowing that. All right, so let's so it's 10:15, so we have an hour to discuss. Oh, yeah, I just closed it. The news yesterday was phenomenal. Very interesting. RFK Jr. I don't know if you guys follow politics, but RFK Jr. has ended his campaign and he's endorsing Donald Trump. And it was incredible watching the Democrats and the Republicans come together yesterday. Wow. But the thing in relevance to statistics is RFK Jr. made a fantastic speech yesterday. And if you have a chance to watch it, there's tons of statistics in his speech. He's just fantastic to listen to. Okay, so lots of statistics. So what is statistics? What is a statistic? You guys can put it in the chat or you can talk to me. What is a statistic?
Well, I saw all that happened yesterday, so yeah, it was interesting.
It was interesting. It was amazing. Never seen anything like it. That was strategic. What a move. But anyway, besides from politics, it was very interesting. Yeah, it had my attention. So, so what is a statistic? Leonardo, what is a statistic? What is a statistic? You guys can look it up when I Google it, but what do you think? What is a statistic? What you've heard of statistics? What's a statistic?
The analysis of data.
Yeah, it's like some basic form of data that you can inform a decision.
Okay, more specifically, the noun. What is a statistic? Give me an example of a statistic. Not the field of statistics, but the noun statistic. What's a statistic? A statistic. Give me an example of a statistic.
The median of a group of numbers or
Right. So that's an example. So now give me a definition of statistic.
For me, it's like like a number percentage that gives you like an idea of certain data in a group.
Who's talking? Sorry.
Misael.
Can't find you there.
My Misa one. I forgot.
Oh, there you are. Misa one. There you go. Okay. I see you.
I think that statistic is the study of the evaluation of data. I'm a chemist and I usually use statistic in our analysis. and you can, I'm gonna say in Spanish, nosotros podemos, cuando usamos las estadísticas, nosotros podemos estimar, nosotros podemos evaluar a largo plazo, ¿verdad? Y poder, se me va la palabra de la mente ahora mismo, pero podemos estudiar y la información que nosotros evaluamos la podemos utilizar de muchísimas formas a través de las estadísticas.
Very good. So the the field of statistics and calculating statistics can help inform decision making. Yes, absolutely. To understand, so some of you gave me an example of what a statistic is.
Just a
would
quick
you-
question. A quick question. So, like, should we then start looking at the first video and the YouTube channel that says what is statistics from there on?
Okay, let me go back to that. It's very important that
Yeah, because there's like an introductory video, I think, that has like a manatee says something about like introduction to statistics or
let me
what it
repeat what I expect you to do. So you're going to go to module 1, 2, module 2, and for today, before the end of the day or tomorrow, this weekend, you're going to watch these 4 videos here. These 4 videos come from, sorry, let me see, you're seeing the same thing as me. Okay, these 4 videos come from the DTD, the Decisions Through Data series, and it links you here. So in YouTube, oh, that's what I was going to show you, YouTube. So the whole playlist for YouTube is here. And you can watch all of these, but for this unit, for this module, I want you to watch these 4. All right. To work in YouTube, so it has many settings here. Let me review that. One is gonna turn the sound off. So this is the video. If I just want to go forward, I don't want to see the introduction, you can just press, the arrows on your keyboard to just rush through a video. I don't know if you know that, but that's how you can just skip through the video. You can also make it go faster. You hit the toolbar here, the wrench symbol. I don't know what to call that. And you have some options. You can turn the subtitles on, English auto-generated because it's in English, and you'll get the English subtitles and they are excellent. But you can also translate to any language. So you can translate into any language. Now, some translations are worse than others, but the Spanish one is quite good, I think. And because the sound quality is so good, it's capable of getting a good translation. Anyway, you'll be better judged than me about the quality of the Spanish translation. So you can translate the videos, and that's why I stay in YouTube, because this just helps teaching for students who prefer Spanish. Also, I've taught students in Haiti before, and anyway, there's the translator there for their Creole, Haitian language, and French. All right, the other thing you can do is speed it up. You can change the speed. You probably know these features. You can make it go faster. You can make me sound drunk if you want, and go down to 0.25, but that's just for fun. So those are the main things about YouTube. So that's a decision through data. Those features should be on all the videos. In some of my videos, I have timestamps. So here are my classroom videos, sorry, down here. So that'll take you there. So I want you to watch these as well. These are the required videos for the class. So it's linked in here. But I have a whole playlist of all the videos from last year April to July. And you could watch the whole playlist like in order if you want to. So these are all in order. So I will create for our section, you will also have a playlist in our section, which you can access through YouTube. I will put the link in. Sometimes, I guess I didn't do it here. Sometimes I put the timestamps for the video, so you can actually go to portions of the video that you want to watch. And I haven't done that for this one, but I have done it for some of them. See if I have an example. No, don't. But you can check the description, and I have time-stamped. You can click on the time and it'll just go to a certain page or a certain topic that I discuss. All right, so what I want you to watch for next week are these 3 videos. I want you to watch these today, these 4 videos today. The playlist, there's playlists for both of them that I've put up in module 1. This is the playlist for the decision through data. This is the playlist for my videos, the live stream of statistics. Course, I don't think this is from the course, not necessarily iMBA, but it's all the videos, the whole course is there. And these are the 70 instructional videos that in a list that I created. Oh, the sound quality is bad because it's old. I should probably fix those. So these are all the videos, the playlist for all the videos I made, 70 videos of page by page. Are there any more questions about the videos? I feel like you guys have to look at it. I mean, it's not going to make sense unless you guys get into it. So there's 3 sets of videos. That's the point. The ones, the professional ones, the course, and then the page by page. The professional ones, the conferences, and the page by page. The first module, or module 2, doesn't have the page by page instruction. Okay, is that better? Clearer? All right, back to my question.
Professor,
Patricia.
yes, I have a question, and it's about the video you just recently presented about, I think it was the book. In those videos, do you discuss page by page on the section of the book we are at?
No,
Or-
I'm not going to work with the book. I just work with my notes. I don't
So
work with the book.
those are your notes on the video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
you'll
those
see my notes on
videos, where did you got access to them?
to the video or to the notes? The notes are here at the top.
No, to the videos you like kind of explain your notes on.
In the classroom videos here, conferencia.
Okay, thank you.
So you'll see, unfortunately, we have to watch an ad. I didn't open in Brave. If you open in Brave browser, you don't have to watch an ad. Okay. So you see, I described the course. I explain the course. This is all explaining the course. And then I get into the notes. And we have a discussion, which I'd like to have today. Okay. So that's how you see it, page by page. This
Thank you.
this is the only module I don't have the page by page, all the page videos. Okay. So let me see. I guess I don't have the timestamps. Okay, so you'll get the hang of it as you go. And you can ask me, text me if you're confused, okay? All right, so my question was, what is a statistic? A statistic is defined as what? Okay, so let's talk a little bit and then we'll go back to what is a statistic. The goal of statistics, as was mentioned, is to gain information from data about a variable so we can better understand what to expect. So we want to make decisions based on what we think will happen. So statistics are used to alleviate uncertainty, to understand possibilities or maybe possible risks, right? So we want to know if it's going to rain next week because we are planning a party and it's going to be outside. We want to know if it's going, we want an idea of which president is going to be elected because then we know how to invest given what policies they're promising to enact. Okay, so we want to be able to make predictions. Polling depends a lot on statistics. Medicine that you might be taking depends a lot on statistics. Planning, it depends a lot on statistics. So what is a statistic? A statistic is a number computed from data in a sample. That's the best definition, specific definition of what a statistic is. A statistic is a number computed from the data in a sample. It's just a number that you compute from data in a sample. Okay, let me write that in the chat. It's easier for me to type it. And that begs the question, what is a sample? So a statistic is a number computed from data in a sample. Different kinds of statistics. Someone mentioned a median. Somebody could mention an average. What's the difference? Those are different statistics. What about a percentage? The percentage chance of rain. That's a percentage. That's also, you know, a proportion or chance in percentage form is also a statistic. It's a statistic if it's computed from data in a sample. A sample, what is a sample?
A sample is a portion that represents probably a population or something that you want to represent, right?
So let's talk about that.
The group of data we are analyzing.
So, all right, so let's talk about this program. The grade of students that took iMBA statistics, the grade of this, so I want to know the characteristic. I want to know about the variable grade of students that took iMBA statistics. Now I could have all the data for that, right? Because I have all the students' names, numbers, I can collect, I can record all the data for my students this semester. I could have the data for all the students from the last, well, this will be the beginning of the 4th year. We did 3 years. We completed 3 years. So this is the 4th installment. So if I have all of that data, then I can just calculate that value, the characteristic. I could calculate it as an average. I could say the average grade of students that took iMBA statistics. Right? That would be called what if I had that value?
Like the whole population?
If I have everything, if I have all the population and I calculate the average grade, that has a name. That is the characteristic of students that took the course, right? So that would be the whole population of students that took the course. But that's interesting. That's interesting. And I could have that value, and that value would be, you know, let's say it's at 80% was the average of all students that ever took this course. That number can represent any student that took this course, maybe in the future. It could represent something. I could use that number and say, that's just a sample of students that are going to show up and take this course.
You mean the medium grade?
The mean.
I'm just talking about the average. So the average, if I got the
Okay.
average statistic, the average value, the average of all grades of all students that took MBA, iMBA statistics. So that represents the average of all grades of all students that took iMBA statistics is 80%. Okay. So that represents the
sample.
value of, well, if I treat the iMBA statistics and everybody who took the class as a sample, then that would be a statistic, right? That would be 80% would be a statistic. It would be the sample if I'm thinking about representing or writing it somewhere and saying, look, in this sample of these students that took it before, we got 80%. So we can use that as an idea of a characteristic of the kind of student that takes iMBA statistics, and we can use it to represent what in the future students could get. So it's kind of like a sample of a population of all the students who could possibly be admitted and take this course. Right? So the population is the greater thing. It's the thing I don't have access to. I don't have access to everybody in the future who's ever going to take this class. I don't have all those details, but I'm just going to be happy. You know, 80% is a statistic for the sample students that took iMBA statistics. Okay. If you can possibly have the entire population, then we have a different name for that 80%. If we're going to say that's the population of iMBA students, we've studied them all, this is it, there's never going to be other ones, this is them, and you want to make a statement, we refer to 80% as a parameter. Okay, parameter is the calculation from data in the population. Okay, so parameter is really our north. It's really our goal. Like, we really want to talk about the parameters, the real actual thing that we might not be able to calculate because we can't possibly have all that data. Okay, so a parameter. So in the same way that I defined a statistics, we're just going to put that a parameter. Well, I'm going to put parameter. I'm putting it in the chat. Parameter. Oh, guys. I'm going to put it exactly like I said, statistic. So a parameter is a number computed from the data in a population. These words are used, I'm trying to clarify the terminology because people use these words with different meaning. And I want to be very clear how we're going to use them in this class, okay? A statistic is a number computed from data in a sample. Sample is a small portion of a population. A parameter is a number computed from data in a population. So our goal in statistics is to speak with evidence about characteristics of a population that we call a parameter. Now, there's different parameters, just like there's different statistics. A parameter could be the actual true average weight of women in Puerto Rico 18 and over. How am I going to get that number? It's going to be so costly and not valuable to get every single woman in Puerto Rico weighed at the same time so I can calculate, what is the use of that? It's not so useful, but I want to talk about what the average weight is because it could imply what we have to work on in terms of education and diet to ensure, better health outcomes, for instance. So I care about weight, but to go and measure every single woman is not necessary. I'm going to try and take a sample. I'm going to try and take a representative sample, and that will represent, all women. It'll speak about all women. And because I didn't actually weigh all women, I have to give a little bit of room. I can't say this is for sure exactly the average of all women in Puerto Rico. I have to take account that there might be some error there and give a range of values, not just say this is their weight, right? So this is how we work with statistics. Okay, so the point of this exercise is to understand the purpose of statistics is to alleviate uncertainty. So we know what's going to come with a little more certainty so that we can make decisions. We do that by identifying characteristics that we want to measure. That's another challenge, and that's what we're going to talk about now. How do we collect that data? The data that we collect is from a population that is difficult to identify or to like list all the population numbers, like all the population units. But we're going to do our best to collect a meaningful representative sample. And from there, we calculate a statistics. The statistic is meant to represent the parameter in that population. That is what we're doing here. Questions?
Can we repeat again what distinguishes a parameter?
I wrote it in the chat. I put it in the chat. It's exactly the same sentence, except I changed the word from sample to population. That is exactly what distinguishes it. A parameter is a number computed. So if you can't have a population, can you compute a parameter?
No.
Right.
But I have a question, but or to ensure that I really understand, to select a population, I must have a criteria to select a representative size of the population that will be studied or evaluated, right?
So that's a separate issue, and we're going to talk about
Okay.
that towards the end. What size? What's a good size? So there's a couple of things. One is there's a lot of things, okay? So we can go very deep. What characteristic are we interested in? That's one question. Another one is how many is enough for a sample to be representative of the population? And that's another question. So all of those are statistics. Those are questions that are studied by statisticians in the field of statistics. And I'm going to introduce you to some of the answers to those questions, right? But that's very good. That's exactly how we're supposed to be thinking about this. All right, so let's get in. So everybody's okay with the term. The main thing was that you know what a statistic is by definition, and our goal is to get a good one that represents a parameter, which I wouldn't be able to easily estimate without a high cost to actually identify every unit to measure it. So we work with samples, small portions of the population. Okay, collected in a representative way. Okay, so back to the note. So the goal of statistics is to gain information from data about a variable so that we can better understand what to expect. What's a variable? A variable is any characteristic of a person or a thing that can be expressed as a number. I didn't take a break today, but usually I will take a break, okay? So I'm not gonna take a break today just because we have some flow going. But we're gonna, unless you need do you need 5 minutes? Does anybody need 5 minutes break? You're okay? Put it in the chat if you need 5 minutes, or else I'm just gonna continue. Okay, usually I take a break and then, so because we have 45 minutes left. Okay, a value of a variable, to be clear, a value of a variable is the actual number that describes the person or the thing. Okay, so what's a variable? Variable could be the grade of students in iMBA statistics. The value of the variable could be, well, I could use A, B, C, D, F as the value, right? I could use the value 60, 70, 80%. I can use it as a percentage. I could put it in numbers. You have, 600 points, 300 points. So the value, the value has to be determined. What's the value you're going to use to characterize or to measure that variable? All right. So what we want to get to is there's two different types of variables, broadly speaking. And there's two subtypes of those two types of variables. So we're going to review this. You may have heard of this before, but I'm going to do it with examples. Okay, so we're going to talk about these four different variables. Favorite restaurant, number of passengers in a car, temperature, and performance rank. They're all variables. They're characteristics that I want to understand better. But they're distinct, they're different. And because they're different, I have to use different statistical methods to analyze the data associated with them. Now, I'm not going to have the time in this course to teach you about all the types of variables and all the types of analysis, but you need to be able to distinguish between them. And in this class, we're going to focus on what's known as quantitative continuous data. But right now, I'm going to tell you about I'm going to clarify what's the difference between them. Okay, so let's look at, I've bolded here, favorite restaurant. So favorite restaurant, what am I asking for there? We want to study what are people's favorite restaurant in San Juan or in Puerto Rico, let's say, but we're gonna ask San Juan residents, people that we meet, we're gonna ask them what their favorite restaurant is, and we're gonna develop a structure to collect data. We can maybe do it online, we can do it by email. We're gonna collect information. So how will we organize that information? So let's see, I'm gonna put the data in Excel. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to share. How many of you have not worked with Excel before? Let me see if anyone hasn't worked with Excel. I don't want to make an assumption that you know how to use it, so I see how slow I have to go. Oh, no. Okay, all right. So you don't have to be an expert in Excel, but if you want an introduction, I'll give you like a little bit idea here. You should have Excel or some sort of spreadsheet on your computer. And we're recording here, so you can review this later, or you can ask me later if you have questions. But okay, I want to record a favorite restaurant. So I'm going to, you can see my Excel, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm going to collect the data. I'm going to put it in Excel. And Excel just shows up like this. Cells. It's a very brilliant technology that's been around for over 30 years, probably longer, but I've known it. It's these are worksheets. And gonna save it. All right, so we're going to ask people for their favorite restaurant. Okay, so you guys, let me ask you. So what's your favorite restaurant? You can put it in the chat or you can say it out loud. Anywhere in Puerto Rico, what's your favorite restaurant? See, and this is where I get to learn about new restaurants. I have to make this font bigger. No. Oh my goodness. You guys are doing this fast. Wow, all these ones I never heard before. No repeats? You can repeat if you like something that the other person said. I know, Carla, I like macaroni grill. I'm Italian and I approve of macaroni grill. They rarely screw up. Okay, you guys are giving me all different ones. Give me some repeats so I can show my point. Okay, gallo pinto. Okay, good. I'll make it up. Okay, good. This is good. Did I put everyone? You know, Cueva del Mar is different depending where you go. I had the best meal in Guaynabo. And then I had a terrible meal in Caguas. So it varies. Boscaiola. Is that Italian? No, that's Spanish. Boscaiola. Manuel, is that Spanish? Paladar.
No, that's it like a Dominican
Oh, okay.
a Puerto Rican food. It
Nice.
is like a mix, yes.
Nice, nice. Okay, now you guys are all hungry, maybe, talking about this. Mamaya.
Yeah.
Mamaya, sorry. Oh, you guys wrote a lot. Okay, I can't write it all down. Okay, I think I got most of it. Okay, vianda, la esquina. La esquina. Okay, so let's say this was our list. Okay, I'll do a little bit. Let me repeat a few to make my point. Okay, so this is our data that we collect. And that doesn't look like.
Repeat the last one.
You want me to repeat the last one again?
No, it's repeated.
Yeah, that's good.
You have two rices.
Yeah, that's good. I need some repeats. I need some repeats. Cocina fondo. Oh, you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna say in the chat.
is repeated.
Macaroni is repeated in the list.
P.F. Shanks, I think, is repeated.
P.F. Shanks, yes.
Okay, so did I even write it? I didn't write it. I started to write it and then I like P.F. Chang. I like Kimpo Garden too. I think it's cheaper. I don't know. All right, so we have our list. So stop. No more data. Okay, so see, sometimes it's just time consuming to collect data. You have to know when to stop and what's good enough, but this is just for an exercise. So we'd have to know how many we wanted in advance to make it meaningful. So here's our data. Now let's go back. I want to see the notes one more time. It says here that a variable. Okay, go back to our definition of variable. Any characteristic of a person or a thing that can be expressed as a number is called a variable. But these are not numbers. Is that an easy fix? Is there an easy fix for that? I can just make them a number. I can assign a number. I can say Gallo Pinto is going to be 1. Nona is going to be 2. Olive Garden 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Aha, Gallo Pinto again. What number is it? 1, right? So I use the number as its category or as its identifier. La Cueva del Mar is going to be 8. Dice is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, rices was 9. You get my point? Macaroni grill was 6. So I used the codes instead of the name to convert it to a number. Okay, so now I have a number. So I did this with this list. If somebody else put these in alphabetical order, so I can do that. Let's put these in alphabetical order. Let's do that again. Why am I able to do this? Sort A to Z. Okay. Sort. No, that didn't work. I want to sort this. Data sort A to Z, and I want to continue with the selection. Okay. So if I did this and I went instead 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, 14, 14, 14. Which one is better? Is one better than the other?
And we have more than one restaurant that have
It should say
more.
15 at the end.
Sorry, Carla. Carla, you were saying, yes, I have more than, did I make a mistake? Oh, sorry.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, there. Thank
If
you.
I have more than one restaurant, it means that this restaurant could be gooder than other, for example.
Exactly. So I want to, I need to put it there because that's important to me. Is it more popular? It's repeated. So that means something. Yes. So the numbering scheme I use, this one or the second one, is one better than the other, in your opinion? Is there any difference? Just in terms of
the data or what
just
do
in
you
terms of anything, in terms of reporting or analysis or the statistics I might calculate, is there any difference between the first way of doing it and the second way?
The second one is easier to analyze the data.
Yes,
and
it's
to
more organized.
present.
It looks more organized,
Yes.
but is the first one wrong?
No.
No.
it's still the same data.
So it's the
No.
same data. The decision of calling Gallo Pinto 1 or calling Gallo Pinto 3 does not change the value of the importance of Gallo Pinto. It doesn't change my analysis in the end. It will not change it. It's just the categorization is different. And it looks like this was easier because I was able to sort because I had Excel. If I didn't have Excel, this is easier, right? If I had to do this on paper, this part on paper, it would take more time to put it in alphabetical order, a little more time anyway. So my point is the numbers here identify a category of restaurant, but the number itself, number 1, doesn't mean anything. If it's 1 or if it's 3, it doesn't mean anything. It's just an identifier. It doesn't tell me Gallo Pinto is better that I called it number 1, or that Gallo Pinto is worse because I called it number 3. Okay, the number itself doesn't matter. That's different than the variable, 1 second, the number of passengers in a car. Imagine sitting at an intersection and looking at the cars coming by. You have to sit somewhere that there's, not too many cars, and you count how many people are in the car and you put it in your database. So we're going to put it in our database. Does the number there matter? The number means something, right? If it's 5 people, there's 5 people in the car. If it's 6 people, there's 6 people. The number itself matters. And if I count that number of people in the car, or if my assistant counts the number of people in the car, we're going to have the same number. We should have the same number unless we didn't see properly, right? So the number matters. In favorite restaurant, the number itself is just a code to identify the restaurant. So this is called a categorical variable. Restaurant is a categorical variable. So I'm going to put that here. Another word for it, if categorical, is qualitative, a qualitative variable. Now you might want to also, for coding, once you code it, and if you want to put it into some software, you're probably going to just change the name to rest or var1, like variable 1, just to make it easier to code. Put a simple word. Are any of you guys coding or coders? Or you do some sort of, no? Anyone?
Well, I don't code necessarily, but I took a course that can they teach you how to
Right.
put this sort of
Scripts?
information in R and you can use other software to code for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just the logic, just some basic logic of coding, right? So if you have to repeat rest every time, you don't want to write restaurant, just call it rest or var1 or something like that. Okay. So let's say we want the data for the number of people in a car. So passengers. So the passengers in a car, you could have one and then one. So it's just one person, 2 people, 4 people, 8 people, 6 people, and just cars, no buses or anything. So this would be my data. And what I get, maybe I made a mistake and I can have my assistant on the other side of the street and we can verify our numbers, but it would look like this. And the numbers mean something. So this is known as quantitative data. And I can shorten this as well. I could call it pass, just pass, passengers. All right, so those are two. We have the categorical variable and quantitative variable examples. Now let's look at the other ones that I have here. Temperature. Is temperature categorical or is it quantitative?
Quantitative.
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 Okay, how do you know it's quantitative? How would you defend that it's quantitative?
Because the number there does mean something.
The number
Yeah.
means something, yeah.
The number change is not the
It's
same also.
It's actually a magnitude, so
Yeah.
So if I measure the temperature and my neighbor measures the temperature with different instruments at the same time in a similar location, we should have the same answer, right?
Correct, yes.
So the values are objectively measured. It doesn't matter if I do it, my child does it, my neighbor does it. It's objective.
Yes.
Okay. Also, the numbers matter. The number means something. So the number will indicate ranking. Like 1 is well, depends on the variable, but 1 and 10 are different and 1 is lower than 10, right? So the ranking makes sense. And because the ranking makes sense, I can average them and the average, well, not because of the ranking, but because it's quantitative, I can average them and the average means something. We're going to spend some time talking about average. In the videos you'll see, we'll talk about average and then we'll talk about it in class and understand really what an average is. But you can do that with quantitative data. So yes, you're right.
Just quick
Temperature
question.
is quantitative. But there's a difference. So let's put up temperature here. And let's stare at these two quantitative variables. So this is temp. So in Puerto Rico, it's easy because it's 26, it's 27, it's 28. But I can be more specific, right? I could say 26.5, 27.3. You guys like Fahrenheit. Let me do Fahrenheit. Sorry. So we're going to do 80, 75, 77, 76, but I can, like I said, I could also use decimals, right? Does 0.4. So everybody's with me? 75.2.
I don't see the Excel sheet.
I
Okay,
don't see the
okay, good.
Excel.
No,
Yeah.
it's better. It's better that way. I'll put it up in a second.
Okay.
Okay.
76.4. Okay, so I'll put up the Excel. Just remind me, because I could probably put them up together. Okay, so I have the data here. So they're both quantitative, but they're different. How are they different? That they're distinct quantitative variables. They have different names. I can give it a different name. What would you say? How would you describe the difference?
Que no se repitan los números.
No, eso no es. but in general, it doesn't not exact. I just gave you some examples here, but these could
It's
repeat.
this discrete numbers is continuous, right? So you got whole numbers versus decimals or fractions of a unit. Is that
Okay,
it?
so exactly. So they're both quantitative, but can you have a 1.5 people in a car?
No.
You can't count that, right? You can only see 1, 2, 3 when you're counting people. So this is not only quantitative, we call it discrete. It has to be a whole number. Okay, it has to be a whole number. It can be 0. Discrete can be 0. There could be nobody if you have like a driverless car, but I won't write that. So discrete can be 0. Well, I'll just put 0 so you know it can be 0. But it can't be a fraction. But if it's continuous quantitative, it can be. So that's the difference between the two types of quantitative variable. And because of that difference, that one is continuous with fractions, but the other one is not, the statistical methods you use when you want to do more sophisticated predictions and things is different. It has to change. Now, many people violate this rule or this understanding, but there's rules around how you analyze quantitative data because of the way, well, we talk about parametric statistics and non-parametric. Parametric statistics gives you a whole structure and a distribution. We're going to talk about that next week. A distribution of data. I don't want to get into that right now, but stay tuned for that. So basically, the difference is that there are fractions here, and it affects your analysis that there's certain things, if you want to make predictions for whole numbers, it's different than if you do that for continuous numbers. But often people use the same techniques for both, and sometimes that's not advisable. But again, in this course, I'm going to focus on quantitative continuous, however. All right. Okay, the last one is performance rank. So performance rank, let's say you have staff, you're a manager, a supervisor, and you have to rank your staff for promotion purposes. Is performance rank continuous? Sorry, is it quantitative or categorical?
Quantitative.
I was gonna say
It's
categorical.
like categorical too.
Categórica.
I think it depends on how you do it, though.
It depends
Categorical.
on how you
Yeah.
do it, right? It depends.
Can
So
be
if you're
both.
thinking, if you're the supervisor and you collect information on, I mean, yeah, it depends. It does depend how you do it. And because it depends on how you do it, if you do it or another supervisor in a similar department, but a different department does it, they might have a different result, right? Doesn't that make it categorical? It's subjective,
Yes.
right? It's not
Yes, yes.
objective. If I change the measuring tools, it's different, then it's not objective. So it's categorical. So I don't spend too much time here, but just to be clear that unless you're very strict with that, and I have some examples, it's going to end up being categorical. So what's categorical? Values in particular categories. Oh, where am I now? I got to go back to the video. I mean, the document. Okay, so performance rank. Values in particular categories are given particular number and assigned subjectively. Like, okay, you can use a systematic approach, but it's still subjective. If you want to include time to complete a task, I don't know how mean of a supervisor you're going to be, how strict, but you know, if you're a supervisor, you want to see that your staff, you know, managers, they have different units. You want to make sure they have a high turnaround time, that, you know, you can rank attitude. You might have a different, a subjective opinion than somebody else about the attitude. So that ends up being subjective. All right, so back to my list here. I'm going to go back to the Excel spreadsheet, and we're going to write down some rankings. So I'm going to put here performance rank. And I can put, if you want, I can put the spreadsheet on Moodle. So just to remind you, you can look at it. So performance rank, or we're just going to call it rank, right? To make it easy for coding. So let's say we take our whole company, and we have many departments, and we're going to look at the ranking in different departments. So there could be a person ranked in first, another one 11, another one second, third, fourth, 5, and another one 16. So this is just an example of the different rankings. There's some repetition because every department has ranked their own staff. So these are my performance rank. All right, just as an example. So this is also categorical. But it's a different type of categorical than this restaurant, favorite restaurant. What's the difference between restaurant numbers and these numbers here?
Well, the rank has a value, right? And in the restaurant, the numbers were just like descriptive.
Exactly. So the numbers were just used to create categories. If I own Bakery Box and I find out that in the data it was 1, it doesn't make me feel great. It doesn't make me feel anything special. But if I know my rank is 1, how do I feel over here? I feel great. 1 means something. If I'm 16, I don't feel so good. That's not good. If there are 3,000 people, 16 is pretty good, but the ranking matters. Okay. The numbers matter here. When the numbers matter, we call it categorical, ordinal. The order matters. That's how you distinguish. Does the order matter? Yes, then it's ordinal. Now we need a name for this kind of variable. The name we're going to say is nominal. It's a word that gets overused a lot, but it begins with the 2 letters N-O, that it means nothing, like nada. It's very little meaning in that number. It's just to mark the category, and that's it. Nominal means very small. So it's very small information. Again, I'm going to stress the point that we need to know the difference, because we can use different statistics to analyze ordinal data. Then we have to analyze categorical data. That's nominal. Nominal data, you can make bar charts, pie charts. You can make different groupings, like, you know, graphs and things, but it's not often that you can make prediction models with nominal data. Okay. It just gives you an idea of characteristics of the population and what to expect. But in terms of what we're going to learn about regression analysis and more sophisticated analysis. These ones provide more information than nominal data. Can you guys see the full sheet? Is it too big? Does it fit?
You can see the full sheet.
Okay, thanks. Questions? We learned about 4 different types of variables. You can group 2 of them, nominal and order are both categorical. Continuous and discrete are both quantitative. Now, you might feel like you understand this topic very well right now. I'm going to challenge you to try this assignment here at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to go back to my document. So you're going to try these problems here to identify the type of variable it is and the subtype. And I leave this column just, you can describe to yourself what kind of values it is. For instance, height of women. Are you going to use inches, feet, just so you can think about the variable a little bit, so you can identify. So what would you say? What's height of women 18 and over? And if you measured them in feet and inches, what would it be? Quantitative or categorical?
Quantitative though, right?
Quantitative, yes.
Quantitative, because if I measure
Quantitative.
them or a doctor measures, we're going to get the same. If we have a different instrument, but with the measurements on it, we would have the same. So it's quantitative. Is it discrete or continuous?
Continuous.
Continuous.
Continuous, right? Even though I might not have the details, I can get it. I can get a measuring stick or a measuring tool with all the details. Okay, good. So how about this one? Score on a test. Is that quantitative or categorical?
Quantitative.
Quantitative.
It's quantitative. You would measure the score you can measure it as a percentage. You can measure it as a percentage or a number, like a total, but you could also measure it as a letter grade. What if it was a letter grade?
Then you will have to assign a number to each letter, right?
You would assign a number to each letter, but if it was just letters, A, B, C, D, what would it be? Quantitative or categorical?
That would be categorical.
It would be categorical.
Categorical.
But what kind of categorical?
Ordinal.
Would be ordinal.
So it'd be
Ordinal.
categorical and ordinal, and the numbers, we could try to combine the numbers to make it meaningful. Like he said, that there's numbers assigned there, we could work with it, but you got to be careful. So that's why I have this column here. Depends on what kind of values you're working with to make the decision, okay? But yes, categorical, if it's just a percentage or a count. Sorry, so what did I say? Quantitative, if it's a percentage or a score in numbers, that would be fine, and it would be continuous. All right, so you guys can try that one, and I have one more here for you to try. And we don't have too much time to do it, but I'm going to ask you to try it. Well, maybe let's try it, because we have 10 minutes. So let's do this one. You guys can work on the other one. Let's do this one together. I want you the same exercise. This is a survey. These are the questions. Think about the responses, the variable that we're collecting or the characteristic that we're collecting, and think about, is it quantitative or categorical? If it's quantitative, is it continuous or discrete? If it's categorical, is it nominal or ordinal? Okay, so read these through. I'll give you 5 minutes, and then we'll talk about it. Or maybe 3 minutes. Okay, let's do this and then we'll go for the day. Do you need more time or is that good? Okay, so this is a good example of the kind of survey you might have completed before, people collecting data or information from you. And if you use some online, you can use an online free service like Google Forms, or there's other ones I've used in the past. It will collect data and then generate output for this kind of data very quickly, visual output and graphs, charts, and things. All right, so let's try. So that's why I like this. I like this because this is practical. You'd see these kind of questions. I want to think about the data collected. So for the first one, in which faculty are you registered? Art, continuing education, human sciences, and other. Notice it's in alphabetical order. Maybe they're coding it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the variables. Sorry, these are the values of the variable. They would collect different, in Excel, they'd put an extra sort of numbers for different others being specified. So they'd code that. So what kind of variable would faculty be? Quantitative or categorical?
Categorical.
Very categorical, and what's
Nominal.
subtype? Nominal, right? The numbers, if it wasn't alphabetical, the numbering can be different. Who cares? Okay, good. Excellent. So everybody got the first one. Next one. On average, how many glasses of milk do you consume per week? What do you think that is? Categorical or quantitative?
Quantitative.
And it can be both.
And then discrete or continuous?
Discrete and both.
Discrete.
So
I was
way
gonna
that
say
It can be
continuous.
continuous because you can
I'd
join
say-
half
I'd
of
say
a.
it can be both, depending
it can be
on how you
both.
act.
It could be both. So we go for the the broader thing would be continuous because it's not clear. But if it said the word, how many whole glasses, if it had the word WHOLE, whole, or complete glasses of milk, or if it said cups and it said 250 milliliters, if it was specific like that, what would you say? What kind of variable would it be?
Discrete.
Discrete.
So you guys get the point. Okay, so those two, you guys have 2 out of 5. Very good. Number 3. How dark is your natural hair color?
Categorical.
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 Nominal.
Is it nominal or ordinal?
Nominal.
Ordinal.
Nominal.
I say ordinal.
Nominal.
I would
it's
say
ordinal.
ordinal because
Nominal.
it can have like the
Like a
hue.
ranking.
It can be like a number that has information, not just
Exactly.
like
It adds information. Very good. So it's not nominal. It's ordinal because I said how dark. How dark. So some of you got that. I don't mean to be tricky, but I'm trying to teach you something. So I'm going to stretch your understanding. So it's not just categorical. There is a relationship, a ranking between the results. So it is categorical. Sorry. Yeah. Categorical, ordinal.
ordinal.
The answers to almost everything in my notes is provided on the platform, but don't look at the answers until you try everything, right? Okay, so the answers to this are in the annotated notes. So I'm not putting it now. You can make your notes and then you'll find them in the annotated note. Okay, so some of you have 3 out of 5 and some of you only have 2 out of 5. Let's go to number 4. What is this? How often do you usually exercise per week? Less than once or twice, or more than twice? Quantitative or categorical?
Categorical.
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 Very
I was
good.
gonna say quantitative.
Okay, no, this is good. So, okay, so now, so it's like you guys are dwindling down. So like half of you get it. It's categorical. It's not quantitative because there's more than one option in each category. Once or
Sí.
twice, more than twice. You could be 7, 20. I mean, some people exercise a lot. I wish I could be them. But that's, there's more than one. So it can't be categorical. I mean, it can't be quantitative because it's not a specific number, it's many numbers in a group. So this is categorical and it's ordinal. The first group is less exercise than the last group. The numbers matter, the order matters. So it is categorical, ordinal.
Ordinal.
I'm sorry, could
Okay.
you explain why it isn't quantitative? I didn't understand that.
Because you have more than one number in each category. It's
Okay.
not a specific number.
So the quantitative always has to be a specific number.
It has to be a specific number.
Okay.
It should be a specific number that you can use and make calculations with the other numbers. But the fact that there's many in here, like what would I assign? What number would I assign here? This would be 0. This would be coded as 1, and this would be coded as 2. But how do I add those numbers together or divide or average? It's not clear. So it's categorical and it's ordinal. All right, number 5.
It's I put categorical.
Categorical.
Ordinal.
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 Okay,
Similar
you
to the
guys.
last
So
one,
this is
yeah.
a tricky one. Usually people don't get it right. So you guys are a good group. You got the hang of it.
So
Even
it's
though
the
it's
same as the one
income,
before.
it's the same as number 4. It's the same as number 3. Even though it's income I'm asking you for, which is a quantitative amount, the way I'm collecting the data, the values are grouped. They're grouped, they're categories. They're not quantitative anymore. Okay? They're categories and the order matters. I want to be in group 3, over 50,000, right? And it's a higher ranking. I want that one. And that means that there's a ranking here. All right. So we did this by 11:30. You guys did great. I'm very happy. So let me review what I want you to do. What I want you to do today is watch these videos. It's 1 hour. You will enjoy them. Convert them to Spanish with the subtitle, with the captions in YouTube.
Okay.
And then download these, download the notes first, or, at least put them on your computer or watch them on the computer. As you watch these videos, you'll see I refer to the notes. So you'll collect information to answer the questions I have in the notes. And then you could take a break. This week, I want you to watch these 3 videos. And I want you to attempt at least some of the exercises so you can bring questions to Saturday's class. Got it?
Got it.
Got it. So that'll be next week. We'll finish this. I want to spend 1 hour, no more than 1 hour on it, and then start to talk about the next material that you will have a couple of weeks for, but I need to introduce it and get you on your way. Okay, so any questions? I will stay here. If anyone has questions or comments they want to share with me, remember you can text me for anything. Don't get stuck. If you're having trouble somewhere, just text me. We can meet in Zoom, or we can call, or we can meet in my office. Adaira.
Yes. The quizzes, do we have to do it or only the practice and seeing the videos?
It's all practice. It's all for you. These are not, they're all practice. The only thing you need to do for points is the connect, and we don't have it yet.
Okay,
perfect. Once I have it, I will email you with the information, okay?
Yeah, so the questions we just answered weren't part of these quizzes then. No.
No, the connect is something else. It's outside of here. It's another platform. Sorry, I'm putting you everywhere. Most things are here. Connect is something else, but this is all your own self-study platform. So get organized, and next week, give me some feedback about the organization, or if it seems like it's too much. I don't think there's much I can do that is too much, but I can help you and orient you to speed you along. I'm not going to cut material. I made it as you know, I made it as tight as I can go, but anyway. So I don't know if you're all in communication with each other. You guys can communicate with each other too, right? You can communicate with me. So let's not delay. If you have any questions, let's clear it up right away. So I'm going to wish you a good week, and I might see some of you next week. Some of you might not come, but you can check the video. Right? You have the video for you. If you want, also, you can send questions in advance and I can cover it in the class if you can attend.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
All right. Great. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so
Forward
much.
to next
Thank
week.
you.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye.
Ciao.